Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Today, I'll be discussing the unsolved disappearance of Jonathan Bandabaila. As I was researching this case, I was pretty frustrated about how botched this investigation has been from the very beginning. I do feel like if the proper steps were taken, then Jonathan's family would have more information than they have right now. It's one of those irritating cases where it feels like he vanished out of thin air. Now, I encourage you all to do your own research with this case and not to just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Jonathan Bandabaila was born on October 19th in 1999 to parents Isada and Fala Bandabaila. He comes from a family of 8. I know that he had plenty of siblings and that he was the 4th child. Now, Jonathan was actually a child of parents who have come from Sierra Leone, which is in Africa. Jonathan grew up in a tight-knit family. Jonathan was pretty athletic. He loved playing soccer. He was also described as someone who was shy, sensitive, funny, and someone who was always smiling. On May 3rd of 2019, Jonathan is 19 at this point, and he is about to leave his house in Oakland, California to go to Los Angeles for this soccer tournament. Now, going on a soccer tournament wasn't anything new for Jonathan. He would regularly go out to play soccer and go out on these tournaments. So his family, he usually had no issue with contacting them and getting back to them. So him going to LA wasn't really a concern for them at all. Jonathan and his family said their goodbyes to each other and they were wishing, him safe travels. So when he left, they expected him to share how the soccer tournament went. Unfortunately, Jonathan's family would receive no updates. When Jonathan left, that would be the last time his family would ever see him again. When Jonathan left, it was a Friday, so he promised his family that he would call on Sunday, which would have been Mother's Day, but they didn't receive a call from him on Sunday at all. Again, Jonathan is pretty close to his family, so when he didn't call like he told them that he would, that's when the family began to worry. Again, this is Mother's Day. They're supposed to be celebrating, but instead the entire family is worrying about Jonathan's whereabouts. Since they weren't able to get a hold of Jonathan, they began to call hospitals to see if he was there. And they would even take another step by seeing if he had happened to have been arrested. So they would call jails and police stations. Since Jonathan wasn't in the hospital and since he wasn't in jail, thankfully, that's when his family began to make a missing persons report for him. On May 9th of 2019, 2 days after Jonathan's family reported him missing, they received some very nerve-wracking and very unusual news. Jonathan's vehicle was discovered on a bridge called the San Mateo Bridge. Now let me go ahead and backtrack. So early on the morning of May 4th of 2019, a day after Jonathan's family last saw him, drivers made a complaint to the police about that same vehicle that Jonathan was in. That's his vehicle. Jonathan was the owner of a silver 1998 Honda Accord, and the drivers were stating that the car was parked with hazard lights. Not only is this car parked with hazard lights and blocking the lane, but they also made complaints that someone was standing on the guardrail looking at the San Francisco Bay. Now, it's understandable why the drivers would go ahead and call 911. Like, I commend them for doing that because, I feel like if I was in that situation, I really don't know what I would do because I know that most people would try to go ahead and maybe turn to the other lane and, just try to go ahead and get to where the destination is. But, like, just, even looking at the picture of the bridge just gives me anxiety. Like, I hate bridges, I hate heights, so the very idea of someone even touching a guardrail like that high just freaks me out. So the police arrive and they see the vehicle, but they don't see anyone near the car. Again, they heard that there was somebody who was near the car who was looking at the bay, but they don't search the car or even call divers, which I would say are brave divers because, again, that is a huge body of water surrounding that bridge. They don't even call divers to see if worse came to worse and if there was a body in the water. Instead, the police think that it is a fine idea not to search the car and have it towed. Like, you don't want to know who this abandoned car belonged to, and you don't want to take the proper steps to make sure that nothing terrible happened to the owner. Days after the discovery, the family finds out that the vehicle was already discovered, prompting the cops to do what they should have been doing in the first place by searching the car. As they searched the car, they did find Jonathan's duffel bag, passport, and though, he recently got the car and didn't have it registered in his name, the police did find documents in Jonathan's name stating that he owned the car. Now, only if they initially did the search, the police would have found out that Jonathan owned the car. On top of that, his family wouldn't have waited days to discover that he had gone missing either. Eventually, surveillance footage was released that shows Jonathan's car making its way to the bridge, but with the surveillance camera, the picture of the person driving isn't clear at all. Come to find out, the cops told the towing company that Jonathan's family didn't want the car back. I don't know where the cops got this idea from because the family states how that wasn't true. They did want the car back, but it was too late because the car was sold. Here's what I'm unsure about. Like, did the towing company tell the seller that the car belonged to someone who had recently gone missing? Because I can imagine that that piece of information would definitely be a hard sell. Despite all of the mistakes that the police have made, for some reason they are certain that Jonathan did jump off the bridge, taking his own life. Now, I get that, you hear, the account of somebody looking at the bridge, near the guardrail and everything, and when the police arrived, they, didn't see anybody, but, like, even initially, it didn't really seem like the police were really concerned about whether somebody jumped off the bridge or not. As for Jonathan's family, they were not buying this theory at all. They do not believe that Jonathan took his own life, especially since Jonathan showed no signs of depression and mental illness. Like, again, he was planning on going to this soccer tournament, and even after the soccer tournament, there was even him being excited to go to this some sort of formals. Like, he had plans of, continuing on with his life and was not sharing any sort of, signs that he was interested in cutting his life short. Though the family don't know the exact details, they do fear that something bad did happen to Jonathan, but, their fear is that this was something that he did not plan. They just fear that somebody did something to him, but just don't know exactly who, why, or what exactly they did to Jonathan. If you have any information at all and you are watching this video, please be a snitch. Call 911 or call the Oakland Police Department, which is 510-238-3641. There is reward money, which is around $10,000 to $15,000. It's been almost 4 full years since Jonathan had gone missing. His family misses him so much, and they are not giving up on trying to locate him. But again, I am sure that this is the longest 4 years that his family were forced to endure. They've gone on this long without knowing exactly what happened to him, and I just can't imagine the agony that they have been feeling all of this time. My prayer is that God would provide them with the strength that they need to, keep Jonathan's name out there, and that they have the strength to keep on searching for him. Most of all, I do pray that God would provide them with all of the answers that they are searching for. The God that I serve, the God of the Bible, is an all-seeing God. He knows exactly what happened to Jonathan that day and knows exactly where he is. I thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. If there is any thoughts that you have at all about this case, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If there is a certain true crime case that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know. I will see y'all for the next True Crime Tuesdays, and I will talk to y'all later.